Hello there. I'm Scotty. You are not. Welcome back to the College Files. Yes, this one is a full review because I haven't done this one before. If I've done them before, you'll get a short. But if they're new to me, I haven't done them before, then you'll get a full review. And we're talking about, I think it's another one. There was another movie that will be on people's lists for college movies, especially college comedies. Dead Man on Campus, which is a movie that I have been pushed to watch for years by my friend Brandon. So when I started doing this list, this was putting together the list for this. The movies, it was on there, and I knew he had a copy of it, so I borrowed it from him. I might have to get my own copy eventually, but as I enjoyed this, what it is, it's a premise very similar to another movie that came out around the same year or next year, whatever. The Curve, which explores the urban legend or loophole thing that if your roommate commits schnunismide, that you, whatever roommates are there, will then get straight A's. Because apparently there's too much stress, you can be asked to study. So, yeah. I don't know if it's urban legend or if it's actually a real thing, but yes, it's one of two movies that did this. This is more comedic than The Curve, of course. The Curve has its moments. I mean, Matthew Lillard is in it after all. I was shocked at the cast for this. When I pressed play, now I knew that Tom Everett Scott, who by the way is also in Van Wilder, he was the publisher, the what do you call it? What is Perry White? The editor in chief for Gwenny's paper. So he was in it. And I was watching it yesterday. I didn't catch it when he first popped up. He gave me the DVD, and I was watching it in the van between job sites. And he popped up, I'm like, wait a minute. And rewound it. I'm like, paused it. Is that the same dude? He's like, yeah, that's the same dude. That's him. I'm like, damn. It was also, of course, he's the protagonist of American Werewolf in Paris as well. And he played the protagonist's father, who might possibly actually be the murderer from the original massacre in the Scream TV series. It's hinted at. I still say it was Troy James, the brother, but what do I have? That makes a lot of sense, and nobody is pointing any fingers on him, and that's because the writers don't want to point fingers on him because that's who it is. Just saying. But we never got that. Decided to reboot everything. I don't get it. They greenlit a third season. They should have. They should have just finished it off instead of rebooting it. You know what I mean? It took too long to get out, and no one cared. Plus, there was a Halloween special that didn't do anything. Anyway, so you have Tom Everett Scott and Mark Paul Gosselaar. That's right, Zach Morris. And it doesn't surprise me that Zach Morris wants to be a part of a plot where they have to kind of push someone to off themselves. It doesn't surprise me because, as everyone knows, Zach Morris is trash. Kind of fits. I'm watching this, I'm thinking, this could just be Zach Morris if he dyed his hair and changed his name. My name's Cooper. No, you are Zach Morris. Seriously. Although Zach Morris with a bong is an interesting scene to see. I'm just like, okay, this is rated R. But beyond that, other cast members. You have Bobby Montgomery, who was in the Without a Trace show. That's all I know. Jason Segel is their original roommate. And to be honest, I thought it was going to end up being like they're trying to find a roommate that will off themselves, and then it was going to be revealed that it's actually that guy ends up doing it. Like, I don't know. But that when they show him, he's like this tough guy, and I'm like, no, Jason Segel, it does not play tough guy. He actually is not very bad in a role. He is still goofy, excuse me, but he's not bad. What's her name? Linda Cardellini is also in a small role, as well as Allison Hannigan before band camp. That one time in college, before I played a high school student the next year, acting's weird, isn't it? She was also still actively playing a high school student on Buffy. She's college here. And the guidance counselor is the replacement Harriet Winslow from the final few episodes of Family Matters. Don't ask me how my mind figured that out, but I saw her and I go, hey, is that the second Harriet from Family Matters? Is that the second Harriet Winslow? And I had to go around about way to look it up because she's not credited. So I had to go to the Family Patters is what I said. Family Matters. I swear this is not alcoholic. Family Matters. It's 10:15 in the morning. I'm not drinking yet. Tomorrow, I gotta work tomorrow. So after work, then I party. I guess I don't know. This is actually the blue sparkling ice with caffeine. Blue raspberry. Very good. No alcohol. Anyway. You guys know I'm goofy, but I had to go in the Family Matters Wikipedia page, go down, click her name, and then look at her resume to find that I was right. How the hell I was able to figure that out? It's beyond me. And then there's this fat guy who was in a lot of things back in the 90s. I think he was even in Van Wilder or something. He was in something I watched. Was he in Old School? No. I don't know. But he's one of those, hey, that guy actors that pops up in minor roles. And Lachlan Monroe in the role that makes this movie off the rails as Cliff O'Malley. Their first attempt at finding a roommate that is schmoocidal. It doesn't go well. No. He crazy. They should have called him Hooch, because Hooch is crazy. But yeah, so the whole thing is that when the movie starts, it's one of those odd couple type things where Cooper is the party animal. Zach Morris wants to party all the time? No! And Josh, that's Tommy Scott's character, is the bookworm. He got in on an academic scholarship. I don't understand scholarships apparently because this movie made me scratch my head a little bit. But, so he wants to study and keep up his GPA and all that stuff. And Cooper just wants to party. Eventually, after, a wild night leads to him getting laid, he decides, hey, you know what? This lifestyle might actually work. And then he starts to kind of bomb at school. And then finds out that he's going to flunk out of college. Because apparently scholarships aren't permanent for some reason. In my opinion, if you get a scholarship, they gave it to you, they can't take it away from you. But apparently, if you're not living up to the expectations that they have for you, they can just take it away and kick you out. That shouldn't be legal. Once they give you a scholarship, that should be it. Walk away from the situation, you're going to college. But I don't know if it's real, I don't know. So, instead of studying like they should, like he says they got to study. So, as I often do, I read through some part of a Wikipedia article. So I did, and the Wikipedia article would have you believe that he actually needs to get an A plus 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 to pass, because there's no, you can't tell how someone's talking in a Wikipedia article. I'm like, an A plus plus plus, that's not even a real grade. But in the context of the film, he says, I'd have to get an A plus 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 to pass. It's sarcasm. He's never going to get that, which that's also another. So instead of actually studying, which I think if he'd actually studied, he could have done something, but he fails one of his midterms. So it's like, oh, so now, they go to the library. That's what they call it, library. And they read about this, or Cooper reads about this loophole that supposedly, if one of your roommates commits schmoozmide, then the rest of the roommates get automatic A's for the rest of the semester. And I did the same thing in this one as I did in that one. Yeah, that helps your grades for this semester. But what about next year? And the year after that, you're gonna keep doing this, they're gonna catch on. There's even a gag at the end, which is like, and the whole launching pad to this is that Jason Segel decides to go shack up with Linda Cardellini, but he doesn't move out, which is weird. But okay, we can find a roommate. Cliff is the first one, and Cliff is a psychopath. He's rage driving on the road. He doesn't even have a license, and when the cops pull him over, he's like, "Hey, ask that cop for directions." So he rolls down the window. Josh goes to ask him direction. He goes, "You smell pig? You smell bacon? You smell biggie." I'm just like, this guy wants to get shot. He's psychopathic. They eventually say, no, he's too much, and move on to Brantley. Is that his name? Who is convinced, and this one made me, I had to rewind it to make sure I heard him properly. Because this was, he believes Bill Gates is trying to steal his brain, and that Kurt Cobain and some other dude didn't actually die. They're hidden somewhere in the Himalayas, and by Bill Gates, who wants to steal his brain. And so he thinks that he needs to commit schmooshmide to prevent the apocalypse. The word you're searching for is, anyway, and he's complete. So they're like, okay, this guy's nuts. We're gonna push him over the edge. So they start setting things up, but he catches them, and then starts like slandering them. Also, throughout the film, and you could tell this is why it's the '90s, because they thought this was top shelf humor. Throughout the film, there are constant circumstances in which it appears that they are gay. That's very humor of the time, because they're hiding in the bushes checking someone out, and then their buddies see them and they like fall down. And they're like, hey, do you mind? And they walk away, and he's like, oh, that was a close one. What, they probably think we're gay. No, you need to spell it out. But there are several other times throughout the film that they just assume. Like there's the Three's Company situation where they're outside the door and over here he's talking about pulling out, but he's actually means he's pulling out of the plan. But they think, oh, of course, pulling out is something else. This is also where the love interest plot sort of nosedives a bit, because now the plot is focusing on those two trying to pull this off, and so for that to happen, Josh has to be distant. She gives him this short story to read. The short story is probably the same length as the note that Rachel gave Ross 8 pages front and back short story. Actually, it looks like it's a whole book. I do like when she's like, here's my short story. He's like, do you have a shorter version? You know, and that pisses her off. And like by the end, it's just there's no real scene where they get back together. It's just a throwaway line of they did eventually patch things up. So their next client is a depressed rock star who's British in a band called Kiss My Ass. Kiss My Ass. But that doesn't work because it turns out it's all fake. He's not even British. He's not depressed. He was voted Mr. Happy in his high school yearbook. And he's just doing it to meet chicks. So they're at the end of their rope now, especially when they find that Pickle, someone introduced at the beginning of the movie and we don't see again until this scene, has attempted to commit schmooshmite. But Josh, being a good person, calls 911, which sends Cooper into a spiral, being very pissed. Oh, there's also a scene where Jason Segel comes back and kicks the not British rock star's ass. Yeah. There's also more of Cliff as well, where he shows up again and it's like, hey, you know, doing stuff. Cliff. Hey, props to Lachlan Monroe. He's really good in this, but I would not want to live with Cliff. Let me tell you that much. I'd rather live with Screech, to be honest. It'd be interesting. Anyway, now Cooper is incensed by this. Like, well, we had it. No, you didn't. Because he's like, this is what we've been trying to get. What are you doing? I'm like, he's not your roommate. He doesn't live with you. It wouldn't have worked. His roommates would have gotten A's. You wouldn't have. I don't get how that would have worked for them at all. But at the last rope, Josh decides he's going to go to a bridge and jump off, prompting media attention. Everyone shows up, including Cooper, who talks him down, being the hero and everything. And this is just revealed to be a hoax. Something that Josh cooked up in his brain, because he's the smart one, made you forget. So, yeah, apparently this trauma is enough for them to be sort of put off for the rest of the semester, I guess. I don't know how that works. And then we get some wrap-ups. Like I said, Josh and his love interest girl, I forget, Rachel? Whatever. They sort of get back together. I don't know if you ever reads the story. The fake rock star dude actually became a hit with his band. I'm assuming they had to change the name. The Brantley got arrested for trying to assassinate Bill Gates. It's not funny. It's funny. It's not funny. It's funny. He's going to go to prison now for a long, long time. And Cliff died on a boat trip. But then that's revealed to be Cooper's dream. But then Cliff pops out from the doorway, dressed like he's been on a boat. It's a weird ending. It ends. That's how it ends. I liked it. I even say it's pretty good. Now, for the contents of this series, would it fit in a college movie marathon? Absolutely. You could watch it with Van Wilder. You can do Animal House, Van Wilder, and this. Most of you would put that in there. But I feel like if you watch this after Van Wilder, I think it would be something fun to watch. Now, I'm going to watch The Curve back to back with this. So I'm going to watch The Curve next. And we're going to see how that works out. How two different versions of the same story work. This was more comedic. The other one is more of a thriller. I have it in my horror shelf because why not? But we'll see how that works. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Dead Man on Campus? There's also another movie on Tubi called big man on campus or something. I don't know. I might check that out too. Who knows? Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.